Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Thursday night and the Ask a Counselor Anything session. We're going to give it a few minutes for everyone to join. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fantastic. Welcome to the Ask a Counselor Anything session. As you start to join, we're just giving it a minute or two. We know it takes a few minutes once we start the webinar for everyone to be able to join. So we're just giving it a minute or two. So fantastic. All right. So those numbers stopped going up. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Stephanie Sapansky. I'm one of the assistant directors at St. Louis University. And you are in the National Catholic College Association presentation for Ask a Counselor Anything for our Latin American virtual tour. We, of course, would love to be with you in person. But unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are not able. But we are so excited to be here tonight to be able to just answer questions for you. So we have 13 colleges here tonight that will be here to answer any questions you have about the application process, financial aid, any of those types of topics that we've covered tonight or Tuesday night to answer those questions. So just as a reminder, you are in a webinar format, so we can't see or hear you. There is a question and answer feature. So please feel free as we start to introduce ourselves for you to start formulating questions and put that in the actual chat in either the chat box or the question and answer, and we will answer them live for everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and allow my colleagues to introduce themselves. Again, Stephanie from St. Louis University. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm going to turn it over to St. John's University.
Hey everybody, my name is Paul Mucciaroni. I'm the recruitment manager for Latin America and the Caribbean for St. John's University, which is located in New York City.
Hello everybody, my name is Alex Schlepper and I'm the Director of International Admission at the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University. Two campuses in central Minnesota, private Catholic liberal arts schools. And so we are different from the St. John's in New York, and we're different from the Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas. So the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ron, and I'm the director.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elisa Prasad. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at Barry University in Miami, Florida.
Hi, everyone. My name is Teresa Howlett. I'm an International Admission Counselor at Gonzaga University in Spokane, Washington.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Avery Miller, and I am one of the Assistant Directors of Admission, working specifically with international students at Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary DeVilliers, and I serve as the Director of International Admissions for the University of Notre Dame, located in Notre Dame, Indiana.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michaeli Jonas, and I am the International Student Recruiter at the University of the Incarnate Word, or UIW, and we are located in San Antonio, Texas.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lorenzo Gamboa. I'm the Senior Associate Director of Admission at Santa Clara University, located in Northern California. So look forward to talking to you.
Hey folks, I'm John Pepin, and I'm an Associate Dean of Admission for International Students at Stonehill College near Boston, Massachusetts.
Good evening, I'm Joe Serdar. I'm an Associate Director for Admission for International Students at Loyola University, Chicago.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. So again, the way this evening will work is we are here to answer your questions. So if you would like, please start putting your questions in the question and answer, and we will start answering them for you. And so as we start this evening off, what I'm going to do is actually start asking some questions. Let's see as these questions come in. Fantastic. Please keep them coming. All right. So one of the questions that we're receiving is, who is test optional this year? So as a show of hands, can you please show me who is test optional this year for international students? Fantastic. So that's everyone. Very, very good. That's great to hear. Um, Again, please continue to add questions to the Q&A. We will continue to answer them.
Stephanie, actually, do you mind if I add something to that?
Please do. Absolutely, John.
More and more schools this year are adopting test optional policies because of the impact of COVID-19. And a number of schools, even in this Catholic Colleges group across both of these events, are going test blind. Stonehill is now test blind, and I think Catholic University is, who was on a couple of nights ago. But other people in this room may also be blind.
That's fantastic. Should we do a poll for test blind as well? Is anyone fully test blind? Maybe all right, fantastic. So that is a great question to ask, to reach out to the schools. All right, so we did receive some questions in here. Which schools do offer financial aid for international students? And so this would be need-based financial assistance. So if we could get a show of hands, absolutely, Mary. If we could get a show of hands of who offers financial need-based assistance for international students. All right, fantastic.
Maybe I can clarify a little bit. So
Yeah.
students will apply for, they'll submit the International Student Financial Aid application, and then we'll look at that in addition to their academic records. And so our International Student Scholarship is kind of a combo of the two. So not strictly need-based, but we look at the academic part as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alex. So the next question we've received is, if I'm an international student and I want to apply for an athletic scholarship, is it difficult because I'm international? Who would like to handle that? Joe, would you like to take that?
Absolutely. I think number one, depending on the institution that you're interested in, the level of competition, for example, at Division I, which is the highest level of competition at U.S. University athletics, is very different. In some cases, those are literally world-class Olympic level athletes in their individual sports. And so from that perspective, yes, absolutely, it can be difficult to be competitive enough to earn scholarship support. There might be other instances where different divisions, different competitions in specific sports, you might find that your level of competition compared to the level in the United States or at the individual school that you're looking at match up very, very well. I think across the board, all of us that offer, university athletics, our coaches, our athletic systems, those parts of our university are often used to supporting international student athletes that you might need to find creative ways to demonstrate your level of competition when they might not have traditional paths to examine your competitions, for example, as they would for local students. But that the most important thing is considering very realistically the school that you're interested in and their level of competition and how you compare to that, because it can just vary really wildly.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Joe. We appreciate that. Lorenzo, would you like to add something?
Yeah, so do you want to let us all figure out who is Division I, Division II, and Division III athletics here?
Yeah, that sounds great. So let's start with who is Division I? Raise your hand. Fantastic. All right. So we'll lower our hands. Who is Division 2? Fantastic. And then who's Division 3? Great. Absolutely. And then who is NAIA? Yay! So we have some from everyone, so that's fantastic. And I will say, if you weren't able to watch our athletic presentation on Tuesday, there are some fantastic pieces of advice for all of those. There is athletic scholarship, as Joe mentioned, for each level. So we would encourage you to watch that. We will make those public at some time. So now another question we received is, do you offer merit scholarship? I'm sorry, Ron, did you have something to add?
I was just going to say, Salve offers
Ron, we're having a hard time hearing you. You're breaking up.
sailing and equestrian, which are not governed by the NCAA or the NAI, their own.
Okay, great. And then
Athletic association.
Perfect. Thank you. And then to answer the merit-based scholarships, let's get a poll of hands. Who offers merit-based scholarships for international students? Fantastic. All right, great. And then the next question we have is, what do you look for in an applicant? And so if someone could answer this holistically, Teresa, would you like to take a stab at what typically we're all looking for in an applicant?
Yeah, happy to. So as part of a holistic review, we're going to look at your application, but we're also going to look at the activities you're involved in. We're going to look at your character, which is shown through your letters of recommendation, your writing throughout your application, as well as your essay. And those are kind of the main things we're going to look at when reviewing for admission. And then I know in the case of Gonzaga, when we review for merit scholarships, we also take a holistic review for those scholarships as well.
Perfect. And then did someone want to add something to that? I wasn't sure if I saw a raised hand or not.
Stephanie, if I could just add back to that other question, one thing about Division 3 is that Division 3 schools are not able to give scholarships for athletics specifically. They can give scholarships for academics or fine arts, but that's one of the distinctions between Division 1, 2, and Division 3. So Division 1 and 2, NCAA can give scholarships for athletics. Division 3 is we're not able to give scholarships for athletics specifically, just to clarify.
Correct. And from my understanding, you typically make it up in merit scholarships. And I think Avery's going to share just about NAIA giving scholarships as well, right?
Yeah, so NAI is able to offer athletic scholarships kind of in addition to any merit-based scholarships the student has received. And competition level wise, we are probably pretty comparable to a Division 3 athletic competition. So not Division 1, but competition wise, we are the same, just we are able to offer scholarships in that sense for athletics.
Perfect. Thank you. And then the next question we have is how important is my essay, and what is the best topic if I get to choose? Mary, would you like to answer that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So every university is going to be asking different things when it comes to the essays, and depending on the application system you're using, that can vary as well. So for the common application and the coalition application, there'll be one general essay that you'll write that you'll use for all of the schools you're applying to through that system. And then each school will have what they call supplemental requirements. And that will usually include writing essays. So it can vary greatly. The biggest and most important thing is to pay attention to what is being asked through the prompt that you select, depending on if you're applying generally or if you're applying to each school, and make sure that your answer really addresses that prompt. There's a really great session that we did that I believe will be it has been recorded and will be available to you through the NCCAA. So please look forward to seeing that available to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then the next question we received is, what type of academic support is typically available on a college campus? Paul, would you like to address that in general? What would be available typically on a college campus?
Yeah, that's a really great question because many of our universities and colleges offer academic support. A common thing to offer is tutoring. That would be like math tutoring or tutoring in other subjects. Also, many of our universities have writing centers. And so that is a special center that's dedicated to help you perfect whatever research paper or essay that you've written. They can help you to proofread it, help you with your grammar. And I know that is tremendously valuable to people who don't have English as their first language. So definitely look out for those things when you're looking at colleges and universities.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Paul. Appreciate that. Yes, Alex, did you have something to share?
Yeah, just in addition to like tutoring and writing and math labs and such, schools have academic advisors who can help with students' planning, academic planning, and if they run into difficulty with certain classes or such, academic advisors can be a good resource to point you in the right direction. And then accessibility services. So for students who might have a learning disability of some sort, many colleges and universities have, ours is called Student Accessibility Services. They might have different names, but kind of learning specialists who can help if you need some special accommodation. There might be different levels of documentation that you might need to provide in order to qualify for this, but that's a pretty typical type of service that a lot of schools offer as well.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Alex. And just as a reminder, please continue to add questions to the Q&A and we will answer them live. One of the questions we just received is, what do activities for students look like during COVID at your school? So that is a great question. Alyssa, would you like to take a stab at that one?
Yes, of course. So during COVID, during this pandemic, activities look a little different. There are a lot of Instagram live sessions. There's also on-campus sessions that we are having that we have a couple of tents set up outside on campus in front of some of the major buildings and dorms, and they are spaced out 6 feet apart. So if there is something like painting with a twist, they are given all the materials and spaced out safe enough. Everyone is required to wear a mask. And this is something that our healthcare task force that on our institution's campus enforces, that all students have to have their masks. And I believe majority of our campuses events look like that. If events are happening on campuses, it's going to be socially distant, safe, and utilizing virtual wherever possible.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alyssa. And I think that's one of those questions that will be different a little bit at each institution, as each institution really has to follow by their city and state regulations. And so we really have to, follow whatever the city and state lays out for us in regards to how many people can gather at one location and that type of thing, in addition to the CDC. Did anyone else have anything additional to add to that? Okay, so one of the other questions, oh, sorry, go ahead, Ron.
I'm not quick on raising my hand. Actually, a lot of our activities have been going on almost as normal, just that they're more and they're ticketed by times on our campus.
Thanks, Ron. It is a little hard to hear you. I think your internet keeps breaking up when you do talk, just as a as a heads up. That is part of 2020 and 2021 in the world we live in, right? All right. So the next question I would we'll just have everyone actually go around really quickly and answer. Are students learning in person or online? And so I'm going to just call on everyone. And if you could say in person or online, that would be great. Lorenzo, would you like to say if Santa Clara is in person or online?
Sure. Santa Clara currently is online and looking to come in the spring, hopefully live.
Perfect. Thank you. Ron, do you want to try to let us know if you're in person or online? Or you can actually put it in the chat to everyone.
We're doing in case any faculty need to go into quarantine or face on instruction.
Perfect. St. Louis University is in person, socially distanced. If necessary, students are able to learn online. So we're a little bit of a hybrid, but for a majority, I would say over 90%, we are in person. Mary, would you like to share what Notre Dame is?
Sure. So we've been fully in person since the fall semester. We do have the opportunity for our students who are learning online overseas that weren't able to join us. Those professors are recording their sessions and providing those online, or they're doing it live so the students have a little bit of a scramble depending on where in the world they may live, but it is fully in person.
Perfect. And then John from St. Stonehill?
Sure. So Stonehill has been offering a lot of freedom to students to make that choice. So about 2/3 of our students are on campus in a hybrid learning model, and the rest of our students are either commuting to campus or fully remote based on their healthcare needs or their location.
Perfect. Joe?
Here in Chicago, the majority of our students continue to take classes online this spring semester and very limited on-campus instruction.
Perfect. Thank you. Avery?
Benedictine has been fully in person since the fall 2020 semester, so we've been really lucky to be able to execute that fully. But we do have accommodations necessary if a student was unable to make it back to the United States. So online accommodations there, or if they needed to quarantine for a short amount of time.
Perfect. Teresa?
Yeah, Gonzaga has been using a variety of formats. So we have some classes that are fully in person, some classes that are fully online, some classes that are hybrid, so combination of online and in person. And then all of our courses are available fully online for students who are not able to be in class in person, whether because they're in isolation or quarantine or because they couldn't make it into the United States. And we're planning, our goal is to be fully in person in the fall.
Perfect. Thank you. Alex? You're still muted, Alex. It has to happen at least once a night.
Most of our students are on campus and learning in person, but I guess it's a hybrid model because students can be remote. Some of our international students are remote, or if the classroom is too small to have all the students in at once, they might have 2 days a week. The students are in the classroom 2 days a week. They're studying from their dorm room remotely. So it's a hybrid.
Perfect. Thank you. Alyssa?
Yes, so at Barry University, we are hybrid. So flex learning students have the opportunity to either take certain classes hybrid or come to classes. Majority of our international students for the fall were doing remote classes. We don't have specific online classes, just the opportunity right now for remote.
Perfect. McKaylee?
Yeah, so currently at UIW, we have a hybrid method of instruction. So you can take some classes online and some in person. I'd say a majority right now are available online, but we do have the option to be part online, part in person. And then we also have the option to be completely online for those who are not able to make it back.
Thank you. And then Paul?
St. John's University, I would say that we're in person, but with a lot of changes, very similar to what you've already heard to make it safe and also accommodate those students from abroad who were not able to come in. We're able to take remote classes.
Perfect, thank you. And so we have just a couple more questions and then we'll go around and do advice because we have just a few more minutes left. The next question we have is how hard is it to get an internship in a typical year and now during COVID? And let me see, I don't think, McKaylee, do you want to go ahead and answer that?
Sure. So I know in general, we do have a lot of resources available to you to find internships. It has been a little bit different because of COVID, but at least at UIW, we've been offering a lot of virtual networking sessions and virtual job fairs where we do have employers conduct interviews and reach out to students virtually. And then in addition to that, we do like to post a lot of different job openings through our Office of Career Services to kind of promote what's available in and around the San Antonio community. There are, I would say, a few less on-campus in-person internships or student worker positions, just because there's a limited number of classes available on campus, so there's fewer people on campus. But we're trying to adjust the best way we can and helping students get the resources they need about what's available in the area.
Perfect. And then does anyone want to address just internships in general for international students? Okay, go ahead, Lorenzo.
So it'll depend on the students, but you are allowed on your F1 to work a max of 19 hours a week. We are located in Silicon Valley, so we have a lot of our students interning, you know, with some of the big companies like Google and Apple and Facebook and all those places. But again, it's up to the student and how you wish to leverage it. I think what we're all seeing right now is that COVID has introduced the opportunity now to do an internship in any part of the world. So that will be a benefit for you guys moving forward, regardless of where you're going to be at, because what you're seeing now is not going to change for many companies. For example, Twitter just announced that they will now be just virtual as a company.
Pretty awesome, right? Good things happen sometimes, right? So, okay, so the last question we have is someone had a US visa expire, and is that going to be a problem if they apply? Avery, I know you are a DSO. Do you want to take a stab at that?
Sure, I definitely can. So depending on, it didn't say, the student didn't say whether or not it was a student visa that had expired. So that kind of also would make a difference here. But had it been a student visa and they are out of the country, they will need to apply for a new one before they come back into the US. Or if it was for a high school or something, you would need to get a new one before you come to your new university. It absolutely should not stop you from applying. And we would work with you through the spring and the summer to get that new visa before you would need to arrive on campus in August.
Yes, and so the question, they did put that it was a tourist visa, so they do need to update it to a student visa.
Yes, exactly. So no matter what you would need to apply for a new one.
Perfect. All right, so I believe that concludes our time. So we're going to go around and have everyone give one piece of advice that they would suggest to you. And so I'll go ahead and go around the room again. And so Lorenzo, what would be your piece of advice to seniors?
I think this is your opportunity to really be adventurous and think outside the box of what's traditional, because there's many universities who are now looking for many students, and your geographic diversity is a plus. So own that.
Great. Ron?
I know when it comes to the essay, there are some students who maybe fall back on a trend in Spanglish. So my recommendation is to try and reserve time to write. Will identify a sentence if it's awkward. They'll be able to tell you to fix them and trying to impress readers. So it takes some time with, but if you do use an electronic translator, read it out loud so that you can smooth it over. So
Great, thank you. Mary?
Yes, I
it
would just
doesn't sound
say,
awkward.
that one of the best advice for our seniors, now that you've submitted your applications and you're waiting to hear from your schools, is just remember to finish the year strong. It's certainly a time to celebrate once you get your decisions, but it's by no means the end of the race in terms of what you need to accomplish with your academics. So just keep that in mind moving forward.
Perfect, thank you. John?
My favorite advice that I give to any student, regardless of where they come from, is to think deeply about themselves before they even start the college search process, before they sit down to write their essay, and actually write a list. Write a list of your strengths, your goals, your passions, and your values. If you write all of those things down, you'll have a really accurate picture and an exciting picture of who you are, and that will guide your entire search and your essay writing process, and you'll be more satisfied, I think, knowing yourself and knowing where you're going.
Fantastic, thank you. Joe?
No matter what school you might be looking at and where you would like to go, that school is going to be located inside of a larger community. And I encourage you guys to research that community in whatever way works best for you to learn more about where you're going to be spending your time. And that doesn't just need to be, via the internet and looking at news articles. You could read a piece of fiction that takes place there, investigate, art that's produced there, some other aspect of that community, because it might have a big impact on your experience outside of just what the university is going to share with you.
Perfect, thanks, Joe. Avery?
Yeah, so my advice kind of for those students who find themselves in the fall on a new campus in a new place, don't be shy. Don't sit alone in your dorm room. It's going to be a lot of transition, but kind of use that time to branch out. All of these students, no matter if they're a US domestic student or from somewhere else in the world, are all kind of experiencing those same challenges and fears and nervous feelings that you might be feeling, but also the excitement that comes along with being in a new place at a new school. So use the time to branch out, meet new people, and explore kind of the new place that you're in.
Perfect. Teresa?
Thank you. So just kind of expanding on Joe's piece of advice, looking at the larger community that the university is in, take some time to research the university community and what that community is. So talk to a counselor, sure, but also I think with COVID, one of the really great advantages is that a lot of institutions are offering virtual programming, which makes it a lot easier to connect with a variety of departments and faculty across campus. So see if you can talk to a current student and get that current student perspective kind of peer to peer. See if you can talk to a faculty member or someone in the department that you're interested in studying and in pursuing, because those kinds of things can really help you get a feel of the pulse of a community.
Fantastic, thank you. Alex?
Yeah, and along those lines, utilize us as admission professionals, contact point people, and then you can ask any kind of question, and then we can kind of point you in the right direction and make that connection for you with a professor or with a coach or with a current student or an alum. And so just really, with COVID, I guess one of the good byproducts is this technology, and it just makes it a lot easier. And I know that on our campus anyway, and probably all of the campuses, the professors are eager to reach out and to be available. And so take advantage of that. Don't be afraid about that at all. You're not bothering us.
Fantastic. Alyssa?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, really take advantage of the opportunity right now that everyone is somewhat in a virtual setting. Meet with admissions counselors. We don't bite. We're here to answer all your questions, okay? Don't be afraid. And also start following every institution you're interested in on Instagram. We are doing so much, all institutions on social media. We want to get that information and content out to you. And that gives you an inside look onto the campus and the community as well.
Great. McKaylee?
I would say that when you're looking at universities, really think about what type of university, community, or environment will you be most successful in, because not everybody will thrive at a large public institution with a ton of people. You know, maybe you prefer smaller class sizes that are more interactive. So my advice would be really think about, you know, your learning style and how you will best succeed. So when you're looking at universities, kind of do your research into class size, you know, student to teacher ratio, and just really think about where you will be most successful and where you will learn best.
Great. Paul?
My piece of advice is really about after you've applied to a few universities, you've received acceptances, and then you have to make the decision about which one you're going to choose. So you must get so many emails, but look out for accepted student events. Accepted student events are really the key to help you solidify and feel good about your decision. And it's a fantastic opportunity to do what a lot of my colleagues have suggested, which is communicate with faculty, communicate your questions to current students, and really get that something that's going to really make you feel good about your final decision about where you're going to go.
Perfect. Thank you. Christy?
I would say if a school utilizes Unibuddy, use Unibuddy. Don't just connect with an admissions counselor when you can connect with current students as well. They can give you the real in a
Perfect.
polite way.
Fantastic. Thank you. My one piece of advice, college is 4 years where you have the one chance to go somewhere different. So don't just go somewhere where your friends have gone. This is your one opportunity to try something different, go to a different environment, a different weather, experience all of those different things. So take that chance and try a university somewhere maybe where your friends haven't gone. It might be some of the best experiences of your life. All right, so that is all we have tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. And again, we will definitely be following up with you with different ways that you can view the presentations live or recorded that we have recorded. So thank you again for attending the National Catholic College Association virtual tour for Latin America, and we hope you have a great night. Bye-bye.